Hello and welcome to this back of the net match day preview as AFC Bournemouth take on Arsenal at the Dignity Health Stadium in Los Angeles, the home of LA Galaxy. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And look, we've got a lot to cover on this show. Not least, let's start with the gambling theme. Yesterday, we were in Las Vegas, Tom. Look, there's a vlog coming out. We're going to integrate our Las Vegas visit with the Arsenal matchday vlog. So he had a chance to visit the Golden Knight Stadium, the T-Mobile Arena, but it happened to coincide on a day where Cherries announced a sponsorship of BJ88.
Know it well.
Do you?
Nope.
No one's heard of it. I've not heard of it. You've not heard of it. But it's another moral dilemma that lots of fans are debating over social media. There are 2 seasons left where Premier League clubs can take advantage of front of shirt gambling sponsorships, and it looks like we are doing just that. We've had Mansion, we've had M88, we've had Dafabet, so we're getting into bed with another betting brand, like we say, not one we're familiar with, but just browsing through the timelines, there's a lot of conjecture over it. Firstly, the letters. BJ. I mean, if you want to make it an innuendo, you can, I suppose, but I mean, your brother Ben, how's he coped over the years having those initials? Has he changed his name?
No, but yeah, it's certainly when I started getting called TJ at school and then he turned up, BJ was his nickname for a while, so yeah, I think he's got used to it. But yeah, as I say, mate, it's my brother's initials and I'm partial to other connotations of it, so listen, it's one of them. I think just because it's on the front of the shirt, it maybe you can get a little bit ripped for it, but whatever, I don't know, I just think it's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Now,
it's more the whole grand scheme of what it is.
The number 88 as well has got good connotations in some parts of the world and bad connotations in the other. And if you look at X, there are lots of threads dedicated to explaining this. Got to say, never heard those conversations though when we were M88, of course.
Yeah, weird that, isn't it? Because we've been 88 before and I've never heard anyone say about it. And now, obviously, some things come to light about the kind of connotations of it. But yeah, I wasn't too aware of it. I've obviously seen, again, not ideal. Not ideal. None of this is ideal. But understandably, we've got 2 years and then it's all gone in terms of gambling sponsorship. So rinse it for as much as you can. A lot of gambling companies and casinos and all that stuff, they rinse you quite a lot. So let's rinse them for a little bit for 2 seasons and then we'll go again.
There seems to be a bit more conjecture over this company specifically. As opposed to the other ones, because it's something to do with being unlicensed in certain countries and a shady background. And look, I'm not being funny. I'm sure that many betting companies seem to have that. But there has been a worrying trend, I suppose, over the years where football almost relies on the gambling industry. I think the grip that bookmakers have on the sport they've got a grasp of it, and you cannot get away from it. We got promoted in the Sky Bet Championship. People are on social media sharing and resharing these posts from Paddy Power, these funny videos, the one of Jason Tyndall being one of them recently, which I thought was very good. And it's everywhere. You switch on your TV, they say the game's next and it's live. Go to a Bet365 ad or something like that. You cannot get away with it. So in terms of us having it on the shirt, helping to normalise it, I think it's already been normalised. So to me, having it on the front of your shirt is just white noise, but we can appreciate the effect it has had on some individuals' lives. Yeah,
well, it's a very personal thing anyway, and if you've got something close to you and you've seen it kind of wreck lives and things like that, you're obviously going to be a little bit more vulnerable to it. So I totally appreciate that, and it's not ideal, and a lot of things aren't ideal. Whether you get into, whether it's gambling, alcohol, smoking, it's everywhere. And it is a good thing that it's going in a couple of years. That's a positive step anyway. And we just got to see that through and milk it for as much money as we can. But yeah, same. I think one of the most non-actually watching the football live, one of the kind of pods, if you want to call it out on YouTube, that I watch the most is the Gary Neville Stick to Football. I think that's brilliant. All sponsored by Sky Bet. That's the one that gets the most views by a long shot. So yeah, it's the world we live in, and as much as you don't want to just go, all right, just accept it, it's kind of that. It's really tough to get that balance, isn't it? But it is what it is. Decisions being made.
I think the season before last, or maybe it was before that, we did some bits with the overlap, and it was sponsored by Sky Bet, and it was just the fact we had a little hashtag ad, because we did accept money for it because it helped pay for a lot of our equipment, and even with that money we even managed to make a donation as well to Talking Cherries
Yeah,
to fund some of their mental health first aider certificates. So we'd like to think that if the money is being spent somewhere, we would rather companies like Sky Bet did not, put the budgets into ads on TV. If we can take some of that and use it for good, then that's what we decided to do. But yeah, we can fully appreciate there are moral dilemmas. But look, I think there are some ways that you can help, get around this by being a walking advert for that, by not having a sponsor on the shirt, and it's clear that there will be the option again to not have it on front of shirt, which is very good news. Will you have the letters BJ88 on the front of your shirt? Is it more the gambling thing, or is it just the letters BJ?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I was trying to think of that myself, because it was the first time I've kind of thought I might not get the sponsor. I don't really know why that's been a thought, because I haven't really thought about that before, but yeah, it's certainly something that's been on my mind, is whether I will or not. I'll probably see what it looks like, how big it is. We haven't seen yet, but yeah, I'm not sure yet. I might not bother with it, mate, but we'll be interested to see if there's notably less people with the sponsors on their shirt this season. But yeah, regardless, obviously the players are going to have it on, but yeah, we'll make that call later, I think.
One thing that was clear through conversations I had with certain people last time with the Dafabet sponsorship, that was 2 or 3 times the amount that any other company was willing to part with, because they've just got so much cash. And indeed, I think the deal that they've got this time, by the sounds of it, is almost double what they had last time. So when you put it into perspective what they could have earned from elsewhere, it sounds like this was a great deal. And look, the sponsorship, it will enable Cherries to spend more money on player recruitment, community projects, of course, help pay for them, like the bricks and mortar facilities like the training ground, and maybe go towards funding parts of the new stadium, etc. But at the same time, I know that having the logo emblazoned on the front of the shirt will be promoting an age-old industry that has historically had a checkered past, really, and one which faces an unenviable future given the future legislation and blanket bans on advertising. But it is going.
Yeah, it is going. That's the main thing, I think. That's what you could keep in the forefront, whatever your thoughts are. I mean, and I totally appreciate. I think there's a lot that I kind of don't think either are wrong or right in terms of, this is going to help the club progress because more money, blah blah blah, like you kind of mentioned. And then equally, I totally appreciate people going, well, I'll be supporting Bournemouth anyway. I'd rather us not get better players and have a bit more morals about us and values. I totally see both sides, so I don't think anyone's kind of right or wrong in that sense. It's all very individual, like a lot of things are, mate. There
are clubs that have been sponsored. I mean, I remember Everton being sponsored by Chang, and do you remember the era of having alcohol sponsors on the front of shirt? And
I think some foreign teams have had Marlboro, like cigarettes in the past.
They finally got over that. So these things are being eradicated, but I can see exactly why people are anti it as well. And there are some bits to be spoken about with the validity of the company itself, which we are not completely aware of. But usually I find, and this is not to demean anyone's argument that it's really anti-betting, but I just feel as though these things, they tend to, after a few days, they kind of are glossed over, and then there'll be another announcement. Everyone will get excited about it. I wouldn't say storm in a teacup. It's a huge issue, but
I know what you mean.
It will go away.
Yeah.
And I've got to say that the Dafabet sponsorship, I'm telling you now that in the UK at least, will people have been, leaving the Bet365 apps, Sky Bet, Paddy Power, William Hill, Coral, all the usual bookmakers, if they are partial gambling, to be using a Dafabet?
No.
I'm not sure they will.
I don't know anyone that.
It's literally just a meaningless name on a shirt, and now that's what we've got as well. So, what effect it will have, I'm not particularly sure. But look, we were in the home of gambling yesterday. Tom, we sort of found out we had a free day, and then we worked out that flights from LAX were like 30 quid return with Spirit. You hated the airport experience yet again, lots of waiting around. But look, we went for the day literally, and first thoughts on Las Vegas, mate?
Love the place. It's a really surreal, unique place, isn't it? But it's absolutely gorgeous. I could have just walked around it for days, to be honest. It's obviously dipping in and out of places because the heat, it was like mid-40s, which was crazy. But what I liked about it is you could dip in and get shade now and again quite comfortably. But yeah, it's an amazing place.
It's just the scale of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's a monster of a place. But it's real nice atmosphere around there as well. It's not too, it's busy, but there's so many places that you don't feel too busy. Got a lot of steps in, mate. But no, I absolutely loved it. It was certainly something I thought, will this be underwhelming? And it wasn't for me. It was probably the favourite place I've been to outside of Bournemouth, obviously. But yeah, no, it's gorgeous, mate. Absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I loved everything about it. What about you? Did you?
Yeah, loved it. I've been there before a long time ago, so a lot of changed. There were some hotels that weren't there anymore, some new ones that have popped up, and we got sort of 3/4 of the way down the strip. But towards the end, we didn't sort of see much of like Treasure Island or Wynn Hotel, and Wynn I think is where the Wynn and Encore hotels is where like the Premier League players tend to hang out when they've had their end of season dues. I think AFC Bournemouth the squad have been sent there as well previously, and no doubt the Arsenal team has been there at some point. But today they're going to be in Los Angeles. We're playing an Arsenal side who we spoke on the preview for the Wrexham game the other day. We sort of thought, or was it the second? I can't remember.
Yeah.
We might have a chance.
Yeah, they
against Wrexham because the players that they've got out for their kind of American matches, it's not Premier.
No, they could probably just about put out an 11 that you would think they've all played Premier League football. There's a lot of youngsters in there. I don't think there's like a first team goalkeeper available. So for example, but apart from that, they've got you kind of squad players. There are a few that are still top footballers, obviously, but they're not going to have every single one out there. Your Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, them sort of guys out. I know Jesus still about, so it's still going to be a strong team. And let's be honest, we've got a few knocks and bumps and bruises, and we'll be rotating some things, and ours won't look exactly how we want it either. So, but I just think it'll be quite an even game. I think both teams and both managers will like to play good stuff, attacking stuff, and that'll be really exciting. And obviously, it looks like a really nice stadium. Obviously, we went to the training session, which was just to the side of it, but got to see all the surroundings, and it's really nice. And as we dipped into on the training session, I think the lads look, everything about their training is very front foot, very forward thinking, less about defensive kind of instructions really, which it makes me think this is going to be no disrespect to Wrexham whatsoever, because their game plan was perfect in the friendly, and I thought they utilised that really well. But this will be a game where both teams just try and have a go and try and implement their styles. Whereas I think Wrexham went a little playing against Premier League. They had a few key players out, didn't they? And tried to soak it up and counter. Whereas this one's going to be a little bit more basketball-y, kind of you have a go, we have a go, and I think it could be really, really exciting. And in a actual like proper football stadium rather than a college campus, so it's going to be a bit different.
Yeah, that's right. One thing I didn't quite appreciate was I think you told me afterwards that I thought the training session was intense, but it wasn't their only training session they had that day, and it was considered more of a warm down in the evening. Yeah,
well, I had a little chat with Andoni.
Of course you do.
They had one in the morning, and this one, I think probably because they knew fans were coming, they wanted it to be a bit more kind of do like a game, between the group for the majority, just so for the fans to see them just actually playing a proper game rather than doing loads of little drills and running and stuff. So I think it was a bit more of a chilled one. And it still seemed pretty intense, as you say, but probably less running if you think about it. It was a bit more tactical. Apart from Ryan Christie, who was just running around the whole time, absolutely crazy. How you couldn't write it that he was the only one that was doing a bit on his own, so he was just running. It's like, Ryan, just stop running for once. Yeah. But no, it was good fun. Just hope Tommy Elphick's all right after having to play right back against Antoine Semenyo.
And also Sean Cooper was playing as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just sitting in the DM while he just dictated. Tommy was just running after Semenyo. I did feel for him. And Andoni had a bit of a laugh about that after. I gave him a bit of a tough time, didn't I? But no, it was good fun, mate. And looking forward. A lot of them look in good shape, I think.
What was nice about it at the end, after the training session, was where they all came past and said hello, which was absolutely phenomenal. And that you see the joy that it brought these fans that have travelled far and wide, some from overseas as well, not least yourself, Tom. Like, you had a few selfies, but we had one with Andoni, of course, as well, as you would have seen on the last thumbnail. But I don't know, it was just a really nice feeling. And also fans have got an opportunity to meet Michael B. Jordan as well in some kind of signing on Friday as well, haven't they? He's doing some kind of signing in Los Angeles as well, so chance to meet him too. So look, it's all very exciting.
A couple of Jordans this week, mate. You can meet a couple of Jordans this week if you're over here. And which one's the biggest star? I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, exactly. So what can we really take out of these games that we have? Is it, I've asked you this before, but is it just fitness? Because I sort of feel like, are we kind of wasting our kind of tactical preparation by just getting players fit? Because otherwise it's just 2 games. Maybe there might be another one behind closed doors that we don't know about, of course, perhaps, and maybe over back in the UK there will be the same. But I just feel, as it stands, in the blazing heat, I know it's warm in England, but not as warm as that, what can you really get out tactically of Premier League preparations playing these kind of sides?
I think most of the time it's done on the training pitch anyway, mate. Tactically, if you think about it, the most successful teams, look at Man City and stuff, none of their players from the Euros are playing. I mean, do you know what I mean? We just spoke about Arsenal's side. They're going to be playing with Rice, Saka, doing all this stuff, and they're not really going to have barely any pre-season games. I think like kind of almost 70% fitness, to be honest, just getting them up to speed, and then they can implement stuff better because they're to that level. And then you probably have a bit more of like, that's the way we want to play. Fortunately for us, Andoni's had a season. I'd be a little bit more, say, concerned, but if this was his first one, he's already had a pre-season and a season with the lads, and we haven't got loads of additions or anything to have to integrate. I think that would make it difficult, but yeah, I think mainly fitness. And you got to think, if they can do the way we play and that high press, if they can do that to any degree in this heat, it's only going to be easier for them come them last 2 friendlies and come the season. So I think that's a positive, really. But yeah, I think mainly it's fitness, mate. Obviously you want to see a few bits. I think result is not even a percent. It doesn't matter at all. I think I saw last night in our time, Man City lost to Celtic
4-3. Looks
like Man City are never losing to Celtic if it matters.
You can see the Celtic fans giving City fans loads of grief about it, saying, "Oh look, we got we're supposed to be in a Farmers League. All right, well I expect them to be in the Champions League semi-finals then for the next few seasons in a row." Yeah,
Man City are never losing to Celtic if it's a proper game, and no disrespect, but we ain't losing to Wrexham if we got them in a FA Cup game. It's a lot of it's immaterial in that sense. But yeah, you just want to see little. Obviously, when you've got like new players or fringe players, you want to see bits. So I was saying the other night, and I'm hoping we can see him against Arsenal. I'd want to see a little bit more like from Fev, because I think we haven't really seen much of him. And there's a few players like that, Jefferson as well. But really, you just want to think, I know how we play, and I've always felt that under Andoni. So as long as that continues, and I know what the blueprint is, and the players all seem to buy into it, I think that's the main thing, mate. To be honest.
We're just looking at our head-to-head record against Arsenal. Why are we doing this? This is the one thing we do on a preview that we can, of course, do, and it's not particularly great. We have got a couple of half-decent results against them, of course, but look, is it going to be a W today? We certainly hope so. I was looking online, mate, there was a bit of confusion whether it was 7 o'clock or 7:30. It seems like it is a 7:30 kick-off, so we're going to do a fan meet-up beforehand, aren't we? At, by the way, if you're watching this and you're not on social media, the SoCal Brewery, which is only about a 5-minute drive from the stadium, that's where we went pre the open training session. It was only like me, you, Lucy and Dave Cordell and his son, so we're going to get a load of people there, which will be really nice.
Definitely.
Some people are doing a tailgating thing. I still don't know what that means.
I haven't got a clue, mate. I don't know what half these words are, to be honest with you.
Having beers in a car park, I think that's what tailgating means. Is that right?
Let's see, I'm just like, is that the same thing as carpool?
They
all just merge into one for me.
All
of these words, I ain't got a clue,
idea.
mate. I ain't got a clue.
And then and then we are going to be flying back tomorrow as well. So in a weird way, I'm just sort of looking forward to getting back, driving on the left, having some more chilled out temperatures. No idea what the weather's been like back home. Do you know?
I know when we first got here, they had a really nice day, didn't they? But I think it's obviously got a lot less. But then it's so bizarre that we come back here to where we're staying, and you think, oh, that's nice, because Vegas was over 10 degrees hotter. I mean, it's crazy, but it's going to be a bit surreal when we get back to them temperatures, I think, mate, getting the jumpers on and stuff. Not looking forward to that.
And look, we'll be having a second look after the Arsenal game. It's not going to be filmed here. It's going to be a couple of days afterwards, of course, but just a review of the whole experience and just to learn what really we got out of the US tour, both as a fan, but also the players as well, who showed that maybe they got signs and who's maybe disappointed. I don't know. No one. How can you disappoint in this heat? We're not too sure. But there were some big questions asked, by the way, at the open training session, including our American friend Lear, who said, "So, do you really drink Estrella?" Hell of a question. And he said yes.
He did.
Because there was rumours flying around on social media that he's a Peroni man.
Yeah.
Nah. He's on Estrella now, so
apparently
it's fine.
it sounds like he kind of gets force fed it now. People just give him Estrella to go, you want Estrella?
Yeah.
I get that, but he seems like he's kind of embraced it,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
It certainly has. So look, we're looking forward to seeing them all again. And look, if you're watching this before we get there, come for a drink. But if not, we'll see you at the stadium as well. We'll get some footage of it, and we're going to put that on our Arsenal/Vegas vlog. More conversations about the sponsorship, I'm sure, will emanate on this channel with a bit more research than what we've done today. But from both of us, up the cherries.
Up the cherries.
Come on.
God, we bloody rammed that bet and stuff down your throat, didn't we?